Call is now being recorded.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Circle for Inner Alchemy's new moon circle for our new moon solar eclipse in Aquarius 2026. Yay! Woo! Whoa! Applause, right? So we have a solar eclipse in Aquarius, new moon in Aquarius. It's February 17th, and we have so many things lining up on this particular day. So not only do we have a solar eclipse in Aquarius, we also have the Chinese Lunar New Year for the fire horse, which we're going to talk about. We also have Ramadan and Lent and all the other things that are lining up all together. And you know what? Something that I thought about right before we started the call is for this particular solar eclipse, I haven't heard much about the rapture like I did last solar eclipse.
They're tired of being wrong.
But we're all here, so but man, okay, so we have this energy. I don't know if I just woke up in a good mood or if this energy is what's putting me in a good mood or what, but I can feel the shift or a shift. Christine, can you feel do you feel any type of shift? How are you feeling with this new moon?
Definitely
energy?
a shift. Excuse me. But in a good way. I feel things are shifting in a good way.
Yeah, I feel like we've been talking about this transition happening for the last few months because man, last year was a heavy year in a sorts because it was a 9-year, a year of the snake. So it was all about completion, ending cycles, shedding our skin or shedding layers of things that no longer serve us. And now we're going into a fire horse, which is rapid forward movement. Because it's a fire horse, it can happen in two ways. It's rapid forward movement in the sense of putting your dreams out there, manifesting the shit out of it, da 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 da. But it can also be forward movement in the sense of, we still have some shedding to do. So we're burning it all to the ground and it's going to burn fast kind of piece. So not only do we have the moon and the sun together in Aquarius, which, new moons are about new beginnings. We're setting this new beginning in this lunar new year, which I'm not familiar with the Chinese zodiac, so I can't speak too closely on what all of that means, but I am familiar in Western astrology. And in Western astrology, we have a new beginning with a new moon in Aquarius, but it's also a solar eclipse. So as I always mention during eclipse season, which is between now and the next few weeks, is that this is chaotic energy that is volatile, but it's neither good or bad. It's just how it is, right? And so this is meant to push us through where we're supposed to go. This is meant to be our jump start for the next 6 months of sorts. And this is in the sign of Aquarius is a sign that is it's ruled by Saturn. So Saturn is that ruler of rules and authority and bringing things back, pulling in the reins a little bit. But the thing about Aquarius energy is that, yes, it is ruled by that piece, but it's not ruled by that like Capricorn is. Because if you think of Capricorn, Capricorn is definitely that piece of authority, working through it, going by the rules, traditionalist. Whereas Aquarius says, fuck you and your rules. I'm doing what I want. And I'm doing it for the better, for everybody, not just me, which is more the Capricorn piece. Because Aquarius is also ruled by Neptune. So we have Aquarius ruled by Saturn and Neptune that is rebellious, authentic, let's get weird. How can we build this community? How can we have this humanitarianism type piece to it? And so that's what this new beginning is about, is really stepping into our power in the sense of yeah, like, what do I want out of this? Like, what have I been working towards? What am I still holding back or wearing a mask for? Kind of piece. So you have that. And then you have Saturn and Neptune itself that just transited into Aries. And so you have the planet of rules and authority and constricting things together, and bringing things back in, that like daddy dom of like sit your ass down before I whoop your ass kind of thing. And Neptune, which is the planet of illusions and like psychic energy and spiritualism and things like that, coming into a sign that is very much a fuck around and find out, a sign that is very much a like, if I make a decision, I'm going for it. I'm not waiting on anybody else. A sign that's gonna like bowl you over if you don't get out of the way. And so for the next while, let's say while, because it'll take Saturn a few years to get through Aries, and it'll take Neptune an even longer time to get through Aries before it even shifts into the next sign. So on a collective scale, we are going to start seeing, one, the spiritual gurus that have spent the last few years building a platform on the like mystical, like illusion of what spirituality is. Like, you know, it we're going to see a new rise of spiritualists that are more along the lines of like, no, you've got to do your shadow work. You've got to do what you're supposed to do. Like, it's no more about this daydream of like spiritual bigotry. It's like, say it with your chest. is this piece. So, which is really exciting for those that have been doing this for a hot minute and have really like really authentically sat in that spirituality and not been this like, oh, I'm better than somebody because I'm spiritual kind of bullshit, and really allows those to kind of come in and be like, no, this is what I've been talking about all along. Like, it's, you know, do what you say and say what you mean, kind of piece. And so it's really exciting. But also on another collective scale for Saturn and Neptune together is going to be this piece of like, you know, for the last few years, we've been seeing like cults kind of have a rise. This like political piece of like the illusion being ripped away. That's that Neptune and Saturn, because we've had these illusions of like, oh, look, Christian nationalism is so great, blah, 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 blah. And then the minute Neptune went into Aries, even for a little bit before it like retrograded back, that's when Epstein files started to come out. That's when like we're learning some really deep, dark, gross, evil, like not good, not good things as the illusions are stripped away, as it comes back into Aries. So it's really kind of crazy to witness that. And then when you know astrology at least a little bit by showing up to these calls, by like being my friend, because I can't stop talking about it, you start to see that more and more and how that kind of comes into light. So we have all of that, and it comes into this piece of like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like with this fire horse coming into play, this energy of this movement and this fire energy, like that comes with Aries, with Saturn and Neptune coming into that. And then Aquarius being an air sign, so it's just fueling the fire pretty much. I'm honestly really kind of nervous, but also really excited to see what this next year looks like, because it could get really crazy. It could get really crazy. So, you know, I always talk about when in eclipse season, like we're not necessarily manifesting, because what's supposed to happen is this kick starts us for the next six months or so. But the ritual that I have set up for us tonight is meant to kind of, it's like liberation through visualization kind of piece of really kind of trying to visualize where we're going, what we're doing, what the plan is, what the goal is, what the next steps are. So before we hop into the ritual aspect of it, I just want to ask, like, when you're thinking about what this next year looks like, what a fire horse could really mean for you, or what a like Saturn, Neptune, like laying down the hammer kind of aspect in Aries with the authenticity of Aquarius, what comes to mind? Like, what are the goals that are coming into place? What are some things that are like, okay, like we've been talking about it, now it's time to actually do it, kind of thing.
We're finally getting this house finished, getting the remodel done. That's going to happen this year.
Yeah. What else? What other goals do you have?
That's the big one right now. That is the really big one right now because I've lived here for 3 years now. Wait, no, 4 years. 4 years. Yeah.
4 years.
It's time to be done. Get
Time
a new
to
bed.
Yeah. I'm excited for you. I'm excited. I think my goals, like, I spent the last year kind of recalibrating what it was that I'm kind of doing with like the circle, and I rebranded a year ago, like, and have kind of really been sitting with that. And so and I've done classes over the last year, and I found some new information out where I'm like, oh, now I've got to reevaluate that kind of piece. And I can't share that information just yet, but it definitely has me going, okay, well, what I've been doing has been comfortable, right? Because I know that this can work out. Like it's kind of my sweet spot, right? But with the way things are shifting over the next couple months, I'm like, oh no, now I have to step outside of my comfort zone. And that's not, on one hand, it's exciting, but on the other hand, it's like, I don't want to do it. So we'll see how that goes. But we're going to go through this new moon ritual, the solar eclipse ritual for this air element of Aquarius, and hope that it will help. Not hope. We're going to manifest this shit. We're like, even though we're not manifesting, we're going to put it into the universe of like, what is meant for me will find me. And I'm not chasing it, but I'm open to opportunities. I'm open to abundance. I'm open to prosperity. I'm open to love. I'm open to whatever it is to receive for my best efforts or my best self, kind of piece, so that we're not like in this comfort zone of like hoping something will change without actually putting any change behind it, if that makes sense. So if you're following along in regards to the ritual, whether that's you, Christy, I know you're doing your thing over there, or if you're watching the replays, the items that you're going to need for this is going to be a small bowl of water, and this is to help ground the air energy. We're going to need a feather, a fan, or just your breath to represent the air. Pen and paper for a little thingy. Clear quartz, amethyst, or any crystal you have, which now that I think about it, I don't have it in front of me. Yeah, I do. And then a small piece of string or ribbon. So there's my clear quartz. What did I do with my string? And then an incense or essential oil to also represent this like fresh and airy type piece of sorts. So what I'd like for us to do is we're going to take a moment and we're just going to ground ourselves. If you have your incense or smoke or whatever, you're going to want to, you can go ahead and light that. My string, my beautiful string that I just pulled out of a kit. I'm going to light my incense so I can ground and make a circle. So we're gonna always go not counterclockwise, always go clockwise for the abundance and bring things through so that we can create our circle of protection, our circle of energy clearing. Here's some for you too, if you're watching and maybe you don't have any. I'm gonna send that your way as well. And so we're going to take a moment. We're going to put our feet flat on the floor. We're going to close our eyes and take slow, deep breaths. And as we gather under the solar eclipse of Aquarius, it's a portal, a reset, a disruption in the best way. Because eclipses don't whisper. They're not this like smooth flowing energy. They are a reroute. They come in and they disrupt. It major endings, major beginnings. And Aquarius doesn't ask for comfort. It asks for truth. And so as we take our deep breaths, understand that this is not a soft, cozy moon. This is a visionary one. This is a future shifting moon. This is one where it's asking you like, who are you really becoming, moon? Aquarius is the rebel, it's the humanitarian, it's the innovator. It's the sign that, like I said earlier, says, fuck you and your rules when it's not helping everyone. So this eclipse clears outdated identities and it makes room for a more aligned version of you. Even if you don't see the full picture yet, that's okay. This is about like just taking that moment and asking yourself, am I going to take the mask off? So tonight we're not forcing manifestations. Like I said, we're not manifesting, but we are opening ourselves to abundance. We're opening ourselves to this opportunity. We're opening ourselves up to clearing space for the timeline that actually fits, right? This fire horse that we keep hearing about, this number 1 year, because we're starting a fresh cycle in numerology. It's all about new beginnings. It's all about like a new chapter, not just because it's a new year, but a new chapter in the sense of who we're becoming, right? So as we're just taking our deep breaths, we gather under the solar eclipse and new moon in Aquarius. This is the threshold moment. It's a mental reset. It's a liberation point. Aquarius reminds us that the future is built first in the mind, in belief, perspective, and courage. So what I'd like for you to do is take your feather and gently move it through the air, especially if you have your incense flowing. Feel the movement. Air may be invisible, but it's powerful. So are your ideas, and so is your evolution. Air may be soft, flow, and free. Air kind of gives you that soft breeze on a warm day. But in the right circumstances, air can be destructive. Air can be really like not just free flowing. Like the way that it comes to mind is this sense of like, yes, it's this soft piece, but it can also like tear down buildings, tear down trees, tear down this sense of bullshit. I got lost in the sauce there for a moment. So what I want us to do is like, what identity is expiring? What version of me feels outdated? So as you like take your pen and paper, some things that you can journal on later, what version of me feels outdated? What belief about myself is limiting my growth? where have I been conforming instead of innovating? And okay, so for me, some things that come up is this sense of like, for the last few years, I've talked about it, I've been going through it, and now things have started to kind of fall into place where I'm like, okay, maybe I'm not as far gone as I thought I was. Maybe I'm not as hopeless as I thought I was. Maybe I'm not at the end like I thought I was. I was at the end of that cycle, but not at the end of my life kind of piece. Ugh, the dramatics of turning 40, right? So as you journal these things, like I'm realizing that this old version of me that I've was needing to shed it's time. It's time to let that go. So as you journal through that, I want you to be honest with yourself. I want you to like, don't try to polish it into some nice, neat little piece. So it's so well contained for other people. If it's too much for other people, let them choke. Like, this isn't about bypassing what you need for other people. So on your pen and piece of paper, what I want you to do, let me get my paper. My paper. What I want you to do is I want you to write this down. I want you to write, I release the identity of blank. What is that? I release the identity of what? What are you releasing the identity of? What are you releasing the identity of? I think for me, I'm releasing the identity that I have to be the savior. So, and not just like, not that I'm a savior in the righteous sense, but the savior in other people's pieces. I'm learning that I don't have to carry the emotional labor for everyone. So I'm releasing this identity of having to be the savior, whether that's spiritually, mentally, emotionally, so forth. And of course, my pins. So I'm writing that down. I'm releasing the identity of being the savior. And what you're going to do is you're going to take this piece of paper, you're going to fold it in half. It can be hot dog style, hamburger style. It doesn't matter. Just fold it. And in this case, we're letting it go. So fold it away from you because we're releasing it. Whereas if you fold it towards you, you're trying to bring it to you. We're releasing this. So we're folding it once and you're going to hold it up and you're going to gently blow across it, symbolizing the release through the air. Let it fly, let it go. And what you're going to do is you're going to place it beside your bowl of water and you're going to say, I allow this eclipse to remove what no longer fits. And I trust the redirection. I'm going to allow this eclipse to remove what no longer fits, and I'm going to trust the redirection, which is hard if you haven't learned boundaries. It's hard when you haven't learned to not self-sacrifice. It's hard when you've held on to this identity for so long that it's time to let it go. It's time to let it go. You've been feeling like it's time to let it go. So we're getting rid of that shit right now. We're done. Over it. You are so loved. You don't need to hold on to that bullshit anymore. So on another piece of paper, or, rip your paper, whatever, like I did, what you're going to do is you're going to write a second thing, and it's, I'm becoming someone who, and you're going to make it expansive. Shoot for the world, shoot for the moon, shoot for Pluto. I don't care. Make sure it's expansive and forward thinking and unapologetic. I am becoming someone who blank. What does that mean? So I am I'm not going to choke on this incense. Someone who let's see, what do I want? I'm someone who what's weird is that I'm getting stumped because something's not, because the things that come to mind are things that I'm already doing, but I want to do them on a bigger scale, I guess. So like someone who trusts my unconventional path, someone who like speaks the truth without shrinking, someone who builds community that reflects her values. These are things that I'm doing. Someone who innovates instead of imitates. Like these are things I'm already doing, but I want to like do it on a bigger scale, I guess. And so I really want to think about like I'm becoming someone who can find balance in the spiritual and practical and can accept love and abundance without pause. Ooh, I like that. Someone who balances spiritual and practical. And I don't know if you understand what that means as far as to accept abundance without pause. And let me just explain what that means for those who might not understand that. What that means is that, we talk about wanting more things, whether that's more love, more money, more just abundance in general, whatever, recognition, appreciation, acceptance. But sometimes when that abundance comes in a way that can feel like too much too soon or beyond what we're thinking, we kind of pause. There's that pause of like, kind of like if you think about it, somebody is paying you for a service and they tip you, you're used to getting maybe like $20 in a tip. But if somebody gives you $100, you have this pause. In fact, that just happened to me 3 days ago, where I was doing a reading and someone tipped me 100% of my reading price, and then she doubled it. And I had to pause. Like I paused because I had this moment of like, oh, I can't accept this. Like I even asked her, I was like, are you sure about that? And she was like, yes, you're undercharging. I was like, thank you, Queen. I love you. I appreciate that. And then I accepted it without pause, like, okay, cool. I had permission to accept this without pause, right? And so this particular piece is that we're activating this vision of, for me specifically, I'm becoming someone who can balance the spiritual and practical and can accept abundance without pause. So for you, whatever that may be, I'm becoming someone who trusts myself more. I'm becoming someone who can set better boundaries, whatever it is. Write it down on the piece of paper and you're going to fold it towards you. Again, hamburger, hot dog, it does not matter. And I want you to place it over your heart. And we're going to say Aquarius energy is future focused. You don't have to know every step. You just have to align with the direction. And take a deep breath and feel what that feels like. Vision what that, like that vision of whatever it is you're becoming. Forward thinking, we're pushing this energy through. I'm accepting love and abundance and prosperity without pause and finding balance between what that looks like. Or whatever that may be for you. And what I'd like for you to do next is you're going to take your ribbon or your string or whatever you have, and you're going to loosely wrap it around that second paper. It's not tight, it's intentional. I'm bringing it towards me. I'm wrapping it towards me. And this is not a restriction. So say that. This is not restriction. This is commitment. And I anchor my evolution in the awareness, and I bind myself to growth gently and consciously. I bind myself to growth to receive that abundance and be open to accepting. And what you're going to do is you're going to sit that in front of you, and you're going to place your crystal right on top of it. And then we're going to take our feather or your fan or your breath, and you're going to just kind of blow or move through that and wave it over your crystal and activate that, like resonate that. And I don't know about you, but for me, I have like, my body is buzzing with the energy I'm putting out there. I like, my feet are grounded. I really wish, if you're not feeling this right now, that you could, because it's like my feet are firmly grounded into earth, but my body is like buzzing with this electricity. I feel like I'm in a bubble of energy that is just perfect. Oh, I love it. So what we're going to do is we're going to dip our fingertips into our water. 1, 2, 3, doesn't matter. We're going to dip our fingertips in our water. We're going to touch our forehead right in between. We're going to say clear mind. We're going to touch our throat, clear voice. We're going to touch our heart, clear intention. And then together, afterwards, I want you to say, I trust the shift, I trust the vision, and I trust the future that's unfolding. I'm letting it go, and I'm trusting. So we're going to take a moment and close our eyes and take one slow, deep, intentional breath in and release it. And as this eclipse moves through the sky, it moves through me. And I want you to repeat that. As this eclipse moves through the sky, it moves through me. Clearing, redirecting, aligning. I'm not who I was. I'm becoming who I'm meant to be. And when you're done, you can open your eyes. You can set your papers on your altar for the next couple weeks until we have our full moon to let it all go. You can also keep that paper, if your altar is someplace like maybe you're not quite out of the room closet, but you want to put it out somewhere in public, you can. Just to set it somewhere, just to keep your eye on it, so that you're still trusting the fact that you're welcoming that in, who you're becoming, And then the release paper, the first paper we did, what we're releasing, give it 48 hours and then tear it up and throw it away, bury it, burn it, whatever. But make sure that you're taking actions over the next few weeks that aligns you with what you're becoming. So whatever it is that you're doing to get you one step closer, you don't have to know the whole vision. You just have to take the next right step. So make sure that you're doing that over the next few weeks until we have our next moon circle, and enjoy this time to really relax, really kind of enjoy this energy. Like for me, as I do these rituals, as I step into my power, as I really hone in on a few things, like it almost gives me a high a little bit. Not in the druggy alcohol high, but in this like higher vibration, higher frequency kind of piece. And I really hope that you're feeling that too. So with all of that, Christy, is there anything you want to share in regards to our ritual or what we're doing or what you're releasing or becoming?
No, I think I'm going to keep that to me right now.
And that's really fun. So, all right. Well, I appreciate you so much showing up, Christy. It makes it so much easier for me to interact when I have at least one person here listening. And I cannot wait until we have our full moon eclipse, our lunar eclipse in 2 weeks, to continue to push through this energy, releasing the old and welcoming the new, and becoming this new version of ourselves. And hopefully I will see you there. And until then, I love you all. I'm so incredibly grateful for everyone that shows up, whether it's on a call or a class or an event. It does not matter. I'm truly grateful, and I hope you all know it. And I will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye. Love y'all. See you later.